Howdy there, partners. Well, here we are, down here in Southwest Florida. You notice I said Southwest Florida. And you know, it's getting pretty doggone cold down here right now, that time of year. So, in keeping with the mood, I'm going to do some, what do you call it? Beef stew. We're going to do a little beef stew. So, you know, it's getting down in the 70s here at night. So, anyway, here we go. I got the skillet heating up here. Going to get it real hot, and I'm going to throw a little bit of oil in here. Not much, because you want the meat to get real nice and browned. And while that's heating up, I'm cutting up a medium onion here. I already got it kind of diced. Making pretty big little cuts into it. So there's our onion. And now what we're going to do, now I got some beef here. Now you might think, well, to make this specially good, maybe I'll just use some ribeye or something. Well, that you don't want to do. What you want here is some cheap meat. In other words, not meat that you get from some weird store or something, but I mean a cheaper cut. Because the more expensive meat has a lot of fat in it. And this is going to be cooked low and slow. And if your meat has a lot of fat in it, turn this down just a little bit here. If your meat has a lot of fat in it, that fat would all kind of melt away during the cooking process. And then all you got left is some chewy meat. So the less expensive cuts don't have as much fat, but they get very, very tender when you cook it low and slow. So that's what you want. Now this meat here came from like a Boston butt, I think it was. But you can use top round, bottom round, goat, sheep, whatever you want, I mean, but whatever your favorite meat is. Now we like beef. So anyway, I'm heating this up and getting a little crust on it. I'm going to throw some onion in there with it. This is what we do out west, Southwest Florida, you know. This is how we cook it. Alright, and while this is heating up and browning, Kimmy's going to shut off the camera for a little bit and we'll be right back. Bye. Howdy. I love saying that word because we're in Southwest Florida. So that's just kind of the way we talk down here, you know. Anyway, so next you want to add, I got this browned up pretty good, and it's 2 pounds of stew meat is what it turned out to be. It's 2 pounds. And next what you want to add is a couple of cups of water. Now what I do is I add some beef base to the water to make it more of a beef flavor. But you don't have to do that. You can just add plain water if you want, but I use a little flavoring with it. So you add that in there. I just splashed some on my foot, but anyway. Now, next, what you want to do is take about like a teaspoon of sugar and kind of sprinkle that around in your mixture here. And you want, I got this minced garlic, about a clove's worth of garlic. Be about like that probably. Stick that in there. And then you want to put in a little bit of paprika. I'd say a half a teaspoon of that, something like that. You know, kind of sprinkle that around a little bit. And couple of bay leaves put in there. Stick those in there, two of them maybe, you know, 3, whatever. And then some pepper. We'll add about a whatever pepper at the taste, you know, however much pepper you like. Down here in the Southwest, we like quite a bit of pepper. And let's put some salt in there. Now I use the kosher salt because I can see how much I'm putting in there better than the regular ground up salt. You just take that and stick some of that in there. About a teaspoon, I'd say. Then Worcestershire. I know an English guy told me how to say this. It's Worcestershire. That's how you pronounce it. And it does come from England, so take that and put a little bit in there. You don't want to overdo anything. And then we got one more little deal here. We got some ground allspice. And I'm just going to give it a dash of allspice. You don't want a lot in there. And I think that's about all we want to put in it for now. So I'm going to stir that up. It's cooking. And that'll give us all of our flavor here. It's an easy meal, I'm telling you, so anybody can do it. Now I got this heat turned up pretty good here, but I'm going to get a lid and stick this lid on it. And then I'm going to turn it down to just a little past the 2 right there, because I know right in that area is a simmer for us, for our stove. But you want it when it's simmering, you want to make sure it's got a little tiny bit of a boil to it while it simmers. You know, when something's simmering, it's still about 212 degrees, so it's going to bubble just a little bit. So that's what you want. So I'm going to walk off into the sunset right now, and I'm going to let this cook for an hour and a half, and then we'll be back. See you then. All right, we're back. One thing I did want to tell you, and I thought about, is if you're going to be a cook, it's really important that you stay really clean. In other words, your work area needs to be clean, no meat juices or anything. And you especially need to make sure that you wash your hands when you work with food. It is your responsibility as a cook. So I keep my hand soap right here at the sink and wash them often. Now I'm telling you this because anybody that eats over here, at least you'll know this ahead of time. So wash them good enough. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Oh, that wasn't right. Okay, I'm done. All right, just a second now. All right. Sometimes I break out into that song because we live in Southwest Florida. Now, all right, it's been an hour and a half. I got about 3 things of celery here. I'm going to cut those up into some chunks. Don't have to be little chunks. Can be good sized. This recipe, you put quite a bit of celery in it. Makes it taste really good. so we got that. And we got some carrots. Now this time I didn't do my own carrots. I usually do, but I got the baby carrots because they're good. I like them, so, and they're easy. So what we're going to do now, and you can see how it's been bubbling and simmering, you know. It looks good, nice and dark looking. Now we're going to remove these whatchamacallums, leaves. What do you call them?
Bay leaves.
Oh yeah, bay leaves. We're going to remove the bay leaves. Because you don't want to eat them. They're not good to eat.
I think you missed one.
I missed one?
You had 3.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. We got to get that little dude. Alright, we got them out of there. I'm going to put some carrots in here. And you can put in whatever you want. Whatever looks good to you. We're going to put those in there. And then we're going to put our celery in. Like that. And we're going to mix those up. And they're going to sink down in there real nice. Alright, now we're going to cover this back up. Bring it back up to boil. So I'm going to turn it back up. And then I'm going to simmer it again for another 40 minutes. And that will be done. Meanwhile, we got some of these rolls here. And, what? Oh. We got some of these rolls. My camera lady's talking to me right in the middle of the movie, so here we go. Just like that. Turn them out on the pan. I got my oven heated up to 375. These probably take about 12 minutes or so. Whenever they're golden brown, they're done. And we'll pop them right in the oven. Like so. Alright, we're going to be back again in 40 minutes. Alright, we're sitting tall in the saddle. It's done. It's been 40 minutes. And so what we want to do next, I'm going to remove the lid. And I've got a 1/4 cup of water and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch right here. And I'm going to mix that up real good. And then I'm going to pour it in here. This is to thicken it up a little bit. It won't take but a minute. And we're going to do that. Let me get a spoon out of here. And now we're just going to move this around a little bit and it'll start to thicken. You can actually see it thicken as we go along here, and as it still bubbles a little bit, starting to thicken up. There we go. Alright, while that's thickening up a little bit, I'm going to take me a couple of rolls here that I got out. They look nice. And we're going to put them on the plate. We're plating this up. Now I like butter on my rolls, so that's how I do it, but you can do them plain if you want. But I like a little butter on them for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, we ate a lot of butter when we were kids, I guess. Alright, we got that. Now, see, it's thickened up pretty nice now. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my plate. Oh, that looks good. It smells good, too. I'm going to take my plate. I'm going to put a little bit on there, a little bit on this one, a little bit on this one, A little bit on this one. And that's about how it's going to look. I think it's going to be really, really good. So this is comfort food. Beef stew down in southwest Florida. And it's 5:45 right now and it's already below 80. So we're going to sit down here and eat and try to warm up a little bit. Thanks and hope you have good luck with your beef stew.